Why, hello there. Good meowing, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. And welcome to a midweek stream. If you are not aware, or if you're seeing this in the future, this is the beginning of a 7 days of prints, because I have a stream planned for each and every one of the days of this Steam Festival. So that's a lot. And day 1, we are doing The Good People. So if you are interested in getting this game or downloading, I think it's just the demo. Yeah, they have early access, but they also have the demo available. Oh, sing. We are getting ready to play a new game. And I won't even try to pronounce the name. Cause no, not even going to attempt. I know better than that. I know better than that. So, let me get no, don't open Discord too. Let me close Steam. There we go. And then I need to start the music. Or, well, unmute the game. The game is very loud, so we may do a little bit of, oh, I accidentally opened Discord. We may do a little bit of, audio manipulation first, because, I had to move this down to, like, barely anything. Hello, 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 it's me. Oh! Yes, Discord. Yeah, if you don't know, we have a Discord. Thank you, May. We have a Discord server. You should check it out. It's cool. We have a lot of fun stuff. And we just started. We now have a quotes channel. For when we hang out in VC, so you should definitely join and see. Well, see the quotes channel. There's only one thing a quotes channel right now. But it'll make you want to join VC, if only to figure out what the fuck that quote is from. Alright, well, game! So first of all, thank you so much to the devs for reaching out to me and giving me a key. I really appreciate it. My goodness. Oh, stretch and no shrimp and hydration. Really getting me. Ugh. Alrighty. All right, here we go. Let us begin. Click to continue. You must choose a nickname, pronouns, and a preferred presentation using the arrows. The true name may be discarded if desired. Click the blot of ink labeled saved to confirm your choices and the cap on the inkwell to proceed. Your journey begins with the Book of the Traveler. P.S. Don't feed Robin your pronouns. Why would I get what? Huh? Oh, I guess if I'm asked, will you give me your pronouns? No, you don't get to. I'm not giving them to you. You can hear about them. Don't feed Robin your pronouns. They're insatiable. Okay. Do I accept my name to be true? If yes, the name will be up to fate? No. Interesting. If yes, the name will be left to fate. You know what? Word. Hold on. Him. Give me hymns. Give me the hymns. Okay. Blank or custom. You know what? This... Yeah, gender fae. This looks interesting enough. Okay. Nickname. Never gonna be able to pronounce that, I'll be honest. I have not had enough practice or teaching in how to pronounce Gaelic. At all. In fact, I've received none. So... All right. Our nickname is dear Lord. You know what? Our nickname is Princey. And our name is enter the human's name is Prince. Yeah, you know what? Sure. Okay. In the Book of the Traveler, pronouns will default to they, them due to a case of mistaken identity. Okay, well that's... I like that they tell me that because I'll be honest, I have a weird thing with they, them. I don't really like being called they, them. I don't know. It's just a personal quirk. I experimented with they pronouns for like, I think like a day. And then I went, no, not for me. Not for me. Okay, profile saved or return. Okay. Cool. This is so cool. What the heck? This is such a cool menu. What? Book of the Traveler. Can I... Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. I was like, I had to click it twice. The Good People, the Book of the Traveler. New game. All right. The following chronicle seeks to recount the events preceding the... I wish there was a pronunciation guide. Ironok? I don't think that's probably true. I don't think that's probably how you pronounce it at all. I love that they give me the, at the top, the definition. Really wish there was some sort of pronunciation guide, but I'll butcher it. I'll butcher it. Yeah, Ironok. Hi, Holly. This game is actually mostly voice acted. I think it's probably just one of this bit that is not. For the Ironok's interference with the affairs of the legendary Tuatha De Danann, tribe of the goddess Danu. Mortals made demigods through blessings of Danu. Okay, more contemporarily known as Duan Maith. I'm butchering this horribly. The Good People is another name for the Tuatha De or Aes Sid, but commonly used by humans, for they know not the difference. We begin in 1845 during the initial onset of Andrashal, the Bad Life. Amazing title. Or and Gutmore, the Great Famine, an era of Irish history besieged by unparalleled tragedy. For most, the severity of what was to come could not yet be known, but to the laborers, any poor harvest meant a long and hungry winter. Proper preparation was vital, and so it was thus that the Ironok set out to the port city of Galway one fateful mid-September morning. Readying to pawn off an assortment of family heirlooms and other disposable valuables, it was the only way to ensure survival. This journey, however, would be far longer and far stranger than anyone would have otherwise anticipated. All right. The Irishman in Tirnanog. Okay. Let's play this. This is so cool. Oh my god, it follows my... Okay, it doesn't if I'm around here. I could see that may make me motion sick. We'll see. There's a dull ache in my belly, a hollow pang that's been nagging at me to eat the wee morsel Mom gave me this morning. One small potato. Rada beg Amheim. I ignore it again, but not without effort. My last proper meal had to have been last night's supper, but I know I can get by on a rumbling stomach a little while longer still. There'll be time to eat when my errand's over and done with, and that should be soon. I hope. It's been a long and tiresome day's ride, but I'm determined to reach Galway before the sun hangs high. There's no sense of wasting what little money I have on lodgings if I can go about my business right as the shops open and be on my way by midday. But traveling the road at night's a dangerous business, my child, let alone with all those treasures in your saddlebag. You ought to pace yourself, lots of desperate folk out there, especially now. Aye, but I'm just as likely to be robbed in the common lodgings as I am on the road, I told my da, firm and final. Though, if I'm honest, I'm not too sure how well these old things will sell. None of it's terribly fancy by city standards. Granny's doilies, our Sunday clothes, a bit of jewelry. A bit of jewelry Mom's worn ever since her wedding day. Oh no. Hi, Bling. It's not exactly the kind of thing to buy when times are tough, and from what I've heard, the disease on our crops hasn't just affected us. It's all over, this is. Hello. I shake my head. There's bound to be some wealthy folk willing to take these trinkets off our hands, even if not for much. If nothing else, it should get that bastard of a landlord off our backs for a while. The roads have been quiet. It's almost unsettling for this time of year. Hi, Phantom! Of course, it's no surprise that I haven't seen other travelers these past couple of hours, but even earlier today, only a few folks crossed my path. Families, mostly, all bundled up and carrying what scarce few belongings their backs could manage, all slowly headed in the same direction as I. Now it's just me. Me and a dark thicket to my right and a river to my left. I gulp and eye the woods from time to time. A wall of trees line the roadside, swallowing up any light to be found on this moonless night. It makes me nervous, so I keep to the left as much as I can and spur my horse to quicken her pace. Whoa, steady now. Darby, my family's workhorse, slows to a restless halt in the middle of the road. I sigh, continuing to prod her, but she refuses to move 1 inch further. How to sell you off, you stubborn old... I'm getting close. Just over yonder, I can see the beginning of the city's silhouette on the horizon, but it'll take me a few more hours to get there still. All right. Suppose we can rest for a short while. A very short while, you hear? Nay. Affirmative and horse. Okay, that's funny. I dismount and lead Darby off the road and down to the riverside for a drink. As she wades into the water, I linger back on the shore and stretch my aching limbs, not willing to get my feet wet to keep a hold of the reins. My shoulders tense as I spin around to look down both ends of the road, searching for the source of the whistle I just heard. Someone out there? No, we're going to the port to try and sell our, family heirlooms, because this is the start of the Irish potato famine. No one answers me, nor do I see anyone in the darkness. I clench my jaw, peering back over my shoulder at Darby. She seems entirely undisturbed, yet too far for me to grab in a hurry. Well, not that she would go anywhere in a hurry, either. I sigh and rub the bridge of my nose. Her ears are better than mine. It might have been nothing. Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch. I lift my hand from my face and glare right across from me into the trees. I didn't see anything move, but I heard something. I'm certain of it. You know what? Investigate. We'll see. Possibly stupid idea, but we investigate. I quickly search the ground for something to defend myself with, but only manage to eye a flimsy-looking branch of the grass. With a grimace, I grab it and make my way across the road. It's no weapon, but it may be enough to scare off a wild animal. As for a person, well, I'll be less lucky if it's a person, but old Darby's a willful beast and not terribly bright. I've got no choice but to confront the thing, whatever or whomever it is. The thicket is as dense as it is dark, and even more intimidating up close. Carefully, I hold the branch out in front of me and prod at the underbrush. The underbrush. That's what many lesbians dream of. The underbrush. Prod at the underbrush, pulling the foliage back to stare into the trees for any sign. I jump back and nearly trip as a little bird flies out from the woods and brushes past my face, close enough to feel the brush of its wings. Huh? My shoulders slump and I breathe out a sigh of relief. Only an animal after all, I think, chuckling to myself as I turn around. Oh! You're not an animal. My jaw hangs slack as I finally spot the hooded person on the other. Oh, you're gonna take my fucking horse? On the other side of the road, who somehow crept past me and now stands ready to hoist themselves right onto the back of my dim-witted mare. Hey, what are you doing? Get away from there! The stranger refuses to regard me even as I charge toward them. Unfortunately, I'm too slow. By the time I reach the thieving bastard, they've always swung into Darby's saddle. Run fast. Oh my god, the stranger swats Darby's rear and spooks the mare into a frenzied gallop out of the river and into, of all things, the woods. I'm baffled. I don't know if the thief intended to go off-road or if poor panicked Darby forced the thief's hand, but I don't have time to question it. Stealing my resolve, I run into the woods and chase after the thief on foot. My chances of catching up are slim, but I have to try. I have to. The journey back is far too long to be sensible without a ride, let alone without money, without food. Even if I pressed on and made it home, regardless, what would I say to my family when I arrive? I've lost our money, our valuables, even our horse. We'd be... Oh. Did we seriously... Hold on. And what we're gonna do, actually, we're just gonna leave. Slowly, I back away from the road. I don't know what manner of creature or person a sound like that could come from, but at this time of night, without some proper means of defending myself, I don't intend to find out. I whistle at Darby to come, and unsurprisingly, she doesn't move. Grimacing, I resign myself to riding the rest of the way to Galway with wet feet and wade to the water. Darby is none too pleased when I swing myself up onto her again, but after some gentle coaxes with my heels, she begrudgingly trudges back into the land. There we go, and after a quick about it, maybe there's a sugar cube in it for you when we reach the city, hmm? Darby huffs, but I see her ears perk up ever so slightly at the mention of sugar. With a chuckle, I steer her back onto the road and sound for her to pick up her pace. It was a stupid idea to investigate. Exactly. I realized I didn't... okay, here's the thing. I thought we had all the food and valuables on us. Because why would we leave them? Why would we leave them? But now I realized that no, they were on the horse this whole time. So, no. I glance over my shoulder a moment and squint, searching for the source of the voice I just heard. As I look, though, nothing appears to be there. With some hesitation, I turn back to the road in front of me. Ah. Oh god, a dark blur sprints out from the woods, too quick for me to react. Darby reels back onto her hind legs at a fright, and though I cling as hard as I can to her. Oof! I fall off hard into the dirt. Oh, dear God. No. Okay, we still get our horse stolen. It takes me a good minute for me to reorient myself as my ears ring loud and long inside my head. Soon my eyes get to focus. Bait the cool stare. Okay, so our horse still gets fucking... Okay. Standing over me in the dark, one foot hoisted into the stirrups of Darby's saddle. No, what did he say? Fool! Fool! Fuck you! I stumble to my feet as quick as I'm able. It does me little good. Thief's too fast in the saddle. Before I know it, Darby and my saddlebag are disappearing off into the woods. I'm baffled. I don't... Yeah, there we go. Okay. I have to... Okay. Jaw clenched, I run as fast as my legs will take me, bolting through the trees, barely able to see more than 10 feet ahead of me, and with only a path of snapped branches to guide my way. Yeah, luckily for me, the thief seems to be riding straight through the woods. Had they instead decided to veer in another direction, I'm sure I'd lose them for good. It's odd, though. I can't imagine why the thief would choose to push further in. Why not make... Would it not make more sense to simply keep on to Galway, where all those things would sell? After a while, I lose track of how long I've been running. All I know is I need to keep moving no matter how tired I am or how my gut turns and growls. Fortunately, just as soon as I began to fear that I'll never see the end of these woods, the trees began to thin out. Also, it's very red. Into a glade. It's very red. I do want to make that analysis is very red. I pause for a moment to catch my breath, but the strangeness of this place does not escape me. At first glance, I think that I must have gotten turned around and returned to the riverside, but the longer I look, I can see this body of water is not a river at all. It's a small lake surrounded on all sides by tall, jagged stones. I move closer on impulse and feel heat from the water, rising up on pillars of steam. Well, that's not what I expected to find in the middle of a forest. A hot spring? The surface also bubbles like a simmering stew. And if my eyes aren't deceiving me, the water looks red. Oh! We found the Boiling Blood Lake. Great, let's mark it on the map. What the devil? What's all this? But of course, I'm talking to the air. No one else is here. No one else is here. Shite. My heart pounds as I spin around and search the ground for Darby's tracks. I can't afford to get distracted like this. The longer I linger here, the farther the thief gets. Thankfully, it doesn't take me long to find a fresh pair of muddy prints. They come out of the trees near the same spot I did, then halt abruptly, slowing to circle into a different direction. With haste, I go to follow this new trail, expecting it to wind back to the woods, but it doesn't. I stare down, beyond perplexed, as Darby's hooves stop short by the lake's edge. For a moment, I consider the possibility that the thief purposely waded into the lake to throw me off, but the longer I look into the water, I realize it's too deep. There's no gradual decline. It's a steep drop. Dark, murky, and without end. If the thief did steer Darby into the water, they would have... Deep breath. Oh! Bro! What?! Lake of the Dragon's Mouth. Whoa, waypoint between worlds. Is one of the many yet few waypoints between Tirna Og, the land of the young, home of the Tuatha De Danann, An Innsvale, Isle of Destiny, an ancient name for Ireland. Okay. Hidden away and forgotten by most. It stands unique for its relative ease of access and longevity, yet similar to other waypoints of its kind, the threshold remains closed as to prevent accidental wayward travelers. Unless, of course, it has been deliberately opened. I'm beginning to think that's the case here. Continue to the next chapter, yes. The Green Knight. Hello? Fuck, that's right, we're in the water. I was distracted by the thought of maybe we would meet the hot guy. Yeah. Instead, we begin in the water. Splash. Oh. After flailing in the water for God knows how long, I finally find the surface again and drag myself onto the lake shore. It takes several ragged breaths before my vision clears. Did that cheeky bastard try to drown me? That's a little more than cheeky bastard. That's like fucking asshole at this point. I look around to see if I can work out which direction the thief went, but nothing looks familiar. Yeah. No, it's more than that. This isn't the same lake I fell into, nor even the same grove. The ruddy water is now bright and clear and adorned with lily pads. The familiar oak and ash trees are gone, replaced with mossy, gnarled willows and yews. The roots run so deep that they cascade into the lake, and everywhere I step is bursting with wildflowers. The forest is so overgrown that the treetops almost block out the sunlight that's suddenly sprung up over the horizon, but despite the abundant shade, I'm perfectly warm. There's a slight breeze, but it's as soft as a kiss, spring-like. And awfully unusual for September. Yeah, what is this? Glancing back at the lake, the water is still, without a trace of my unexpected swim. Christ almighty, am I dead? I pinch my arm and wince. I can still feel, but what if that's just my mind playing tricks on me? Maybe I hit my lake in the head. Yep, you know what? That's how you stun lakes, is you have to hit them in the head. Where's the head? Figure it out, bucko. Maybe I hit my head in the lake, and I feel a wave of panic wash over me as I think of my family waiting anxiously at home. They never wanted me to come here. They told me it was too dangerous. What have I gotten myself into? Robbed and drowned by the roadside. Ma'am. I'm so sorry, ma'am. The sound of an approaching horse snaps me out of my thoughts. My heart skips a beat for half a moment. Dare to think it might be Darby, but then...
Who's out there? In the name of the Queen, I order you to show yourself.
God, you're so quiet. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I thought this was a little... Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's try this.
Who's out there? In the name of the Queen, I order you to show yourself.
That's a lot better. I scowl a bit. What's a damn... Sassenach doing it out this way? Englishman. Often disparagingly. This must be the English. This must be hell. Moving as silently as possible, I shield myself behind a thick yew and watch for glimpses of the stranger or their horse. Up ahead, beyond the twisting limbs of this forest, I see traces of a dirt road. Darting between the trees, I advance closer, angling for a better vantage point. As I reach the tree line, I pause. The strangers come into view, like I'd hoped, and now I can start making out some detail. A pink sash peeks out from the foliage, which appears to be draped across some kind of cloth armor. I squint. Is that a spear? What's the military doing roaming around with spears? Yeah, we died, can feel pain, and now there's an Englishman. Or, sorry, Englishwoman? They're quite short for a soldier, too. I think we are. This is just getting odd. I slump against a tree. My wet clothes feel heavy and my back is beginning to ache with tension. I can tell this stranger isn't my thief, and they don't look much like British military either. Maybe they could help me sort some things? They probably at least know where we are. You know what? Ask for help. Sitting here feeling sorry for myself won't help. They may even be able to point me home, or to the pearly gates, I suppose. Or they could kill us, in which case we would have very less things to worry about. Though, truth be told, I'm beginning to doubt that possibility. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I don't feel dead. And how do you suppose that feels? Brushing my hair out of my face and straightening my clothes as best I'm able, I march out from the trees and over to them. When they see me, they come to a halt. Hopefully that's a good sign? Oh, hello, person. However, as I begin to get a better look at their face, I'm momentarily taken aback. The person before me is unlike anyone I've ever seen before. For one, their ears slope to unnatural points and are nestled under a mop of greenish-brown hair. My eyes linger on the scar etched across their slightly protruding chin. I stand up straighter, but quickly look away, careful not to reveal too much surprise on my face. No wonder things have been so strange. I'm not dead, but they're not human. You'd easily mistake it from far away, but face to face, there's no questions. It's one of the city, yeah. Beside, Sidha, I don't know. People of the mounds, most commonly referred to as fairies. Yeah, they remind me of the stories man would tell the men in green, those who watch over nature's most untouched places. Despite my best attempt to present myself respectfully, though, the fairy looks furious with me. You! Without giving me time to respond, they seize me by the arm and drag me over to their horse. Oh, wait! Please wait, I didn't mean any offense! They don't even want to hear me with their own, they don't even hear me over their own voice, which hasn't stopped berating me with questions all too fast for me to answer.
Where have you been? Do you have any clue how worried I was? What have you been eating? What are you doing here? Why are you all wet? Why do you look like you're starving?
Huh? After binding my wrists with some rope they had, they easily lift me onto a horse. My soul, an interjection similar to wow. Wow, they're stronger than they look. But what's all this about where I've been? I just got here. I look down at them pleadingly, take note of a small swan emblem on their sash. Wait, hold on now, you've got to listen to me. Whoever you think I am, you have the wrong person. Unfortunately, my words fall on deaf ears. To be honest, though, the more they shout at me, the less angry they sound. If anything, they're acting more like a concerned parent. Sighing heavily, I slump into the saddle, now acutely aware that I'm being kidnapped by a fairy. At least I got a break from walking now. Come home safely. Athask. Stick to the road, don't go astray. There's more than robbers out there to be mindful of. Ma'am, I'm not a child. You don't have to go on about those tales. Of course, dear, just remember, don't give anyone your name, mind your manners, and don't eat anything you're offered. After some time, the fairy and I arrive at an ancient-looking stone structure. The area is still and quiet. We're obviously the only ones here, save the wildlife, I suppose. Well, okay, you're very loud, birds. Also, the backgrounds are really gorgeous, I will say. Yeah. I just wish it also came with a pronunciation guide. Foliage blossoms all around us, filling the air with the sweet scent of wildflowers. The fairy silently helps me off the horse. They've stopped yelling a while ago, so we were forced to travel in sullen silence. As they lead their mare to the stables, I awkwardly fiddle at the rope around my wrists, but it's no use. It's too damn tight to wiggle out of. I take in my surroundings and spot a flourishing fruit and vegetable garden off to the side. Yeah, it's fairy food or bust here. Huge strawberries rise out of the garden bed and spill out over the path. My mouth waters at the sight. Entranced by the bulbous, ruby-red berries, I almost don't recognize my captor returning to my side. Almost don't register. Oh, okay. Not fully, boys. Peas should be ready soon, too. You grew all of this? Of course. Who else would? They give me a puzzled look. I just meant you aren't having any trouble with the land? I look at the garden. The pea pods are plump and near ripe, and a hint of wilderness is present in the chaotic tangle of stems, leaves, and produce. My thoughts turn back to our struggling farm and the people waiting for me to return. My stomach churns, and the encroaching hunger from the smell of strawberries turns into nausea. I suppose whatever this place is, the blight hasn't come to it.
Trouble? Why would I have trouble? Honestly, what has gotten into you, Daona?
Daona. Not you, that's for certain. Strangely, the name means human. Daona? No, I failed to remember my mother's warning. At the time, I brushed it off, but now I think I might need to think twice. Not them. Who else would you be? Wait, answer that when I have some parchment. Without giving me time to respond, they lead me into the structure. Trader King. Amazing. The bottom floor is surprisingly cozy, especially given the formidable exterior. Someone has gone to great lengths to make it feel like home. The hearth is warm and comforting, potted plants and handmade dolls are scattered around, and there's a faint smell of baked bread lingering in the air. Yeah, time to steal dirt. I am the dirt thief. They guide me over to a small two-person table. I'll be back in a moment. As I wait at the table with not much else to do, I let my eyes wander over the decor. The tatting of the lace on this doily is so well done, I wonder if the fairy made all of these things. The dolls, the doilies, the knitted blanket on the back of that armchair. I nervously eye the comparatively crude monstrosity propped up in the corner, which I assume is some kind of training dummy by the arrows in its torso. I mean, I hope it's a training dummy. The words Traitor King are scrawled across a sign slung over its neck, no doubt a testament of the dummy king's villainy. Suppose some things will never change no matter where you go. But what is it guarding? When the fairy doesn't come back immediately, I use the opportunity to rise and check. It's a holding cell, a remnant of this building's purpose, perhaps before the fairy made it a home. Peeking through the bars, I scan what may be in my future. Death by allergies. There's just a lumpy-looking hay bed, a suspicious bucket, a thick layer of dust that covers everything. Better than a skeleton, I suppose. Looking around the room some more, I spot a desk in the far corner covered with scattered maps, notes, and letters, and some wayward knitting materials. The maps have writing all over them, and the notes mention something about possible sightings. That catches my eye. Investigate. I move some other papers aside and look closer at the one in the maps. Strangely, it looks a bit like Ireland at first, but the longer I stare, the less sense it makes. Oh! Yay! Plus to zoom in and minus to zoom out. Holy moly, I'm not going to remember any of this. Ternanos. Glorious province of winter. Falius province of spring. And then Murius province of autumn. Huh? Also, what happened to summer? Did summer just get, like, fucked over? Is summer not? Oh, here we go. There it is, Phineas province of summer. Okay, sorry about that. Ogum is read from bottom to top. Oh, dear lord. Hey, can I make a note of this? Really stupid goat. Outpost. Okay. The continent, or island, is divided into 4 distinct regions. Falius, it stands in eternal morning. Phineas, summer stands in eternal day. Murius, the province of autumn, stands in eternal evening. And Gorius stands in eternal night. Each name is then followed by a subheading, respectively the provinces, spring, summer, autumn, winter. Well, I mean... Amid the various landmarks and city-like dwellings are symbols I've never seen before. The strange intersecting lines might be some kind of language, but I can't say that for certain. Yeah. As I keep looking, I notice some notes and scribbles. Yeah.
Someone's joined the kingdom. Hello, Kilgore. Thank you so much for becoming a Melrose and Meowin. I hope you're having a wonderful meowing afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is for you.
Okay. Judging across the map, certain places, there's a little building in Falius, that looks a bit like this place labeled Outpost. Is that what it is, an outpost? Finally, I take a look at the top of the map. There I see the presumed name of this strange land. Tirnanog, the land of the young? I've only heard that name in stories. Could it be true? Have I followed in the footsteps of Ossian? Legendary poet of Ireland and son of Fionn Cumhale? What a name. I'm sorry, if it's hailing cum, we have a lot of problems, and I know that's not how you pronounce it, which makes it worse. Famous for his own journey into Ternanog. I decided to distract myself from this revelation by moving on to one of the letters that's already unfurled. There's a broken wax seal on the paper. No, hold on! I said investigate the map, not read the fairy's letters. Investigating the map? Innocent. Reading letters? Not innocent. There's a broken wax seal on the paper's edge depicting a swan like the fairy's pin. To the Honorable Shay? The given name means courteous and the surname means green grass. Fergus. I murmur the words aloud. Shay Fergus. I don't see the fairy's name. The word honorable also clarifies some things. Seems like I was right about them being a soldier, and not for any army I know. Just not for any army I know. Suddenly I hear the sound of something dropped on the table behind me. Caught red-handed. Lord, they're a Lightfoot. I try to turn around as casually as possible, even though I wasn't just primed for their personal affairs. Shay keeps looking between me and the desk, and I brace myself for a new round of lecturing. Instead, they begin talking rapidly.
Look, I know you don't believe me, but I really do think I'm onto something.
Huh? What are you talking about? I'm close, I can feel it. Look. They run over to the map, begin pointing to areas and talking about things I don't understand. So the princess was being held in Duntulin Mound Fortress, which is in Murius. Okay, alright. Right, and which princess is this again? Shay immediately looks at me like I have 2 heads.
What do you mean, which princess? The one I've been looking for the last 150 years.
Cool.
The missing heir to King Henri's throne.
Attacked by the unseelie to spare without a trace. Henri. Okay. So, AI with the upward to the right pointing thing is Henri. That's pronounced like just an I. Ringing any bells? I feel the blood drain from my face. 150 years? Just how old are they? Long living aside, though, that's an awfully long time to look for someone. Are they still alive? I mean, probably, considering she is, but they are. Wonder if this princess talk has something to do with the battered dummy in the corner. Not that I'm terribly inclined to ask. Anyway, it wasn't always unseelie territory. Despite the attack, we held that spot of Mirius right till the end. It only went to the traders after the treaty, so I might have been wrong about her getting stuck over there given the timing. So now I've got a different thought. The princess was closest to her druid more than anyone else in the world beside me, and that lot chose not to interfere in the war. So what if she's with them, hiding away in one of their sanctuary temple things? When we escaped, I told her to go somewhere the unseelie can't go. Maybe she thought that meant somewhere not part of the war, or maybe she didn't choose at all. She could be as much a prisoner there for all anyone knows. Since the druids refused to stand with us when we needed it most, it wouldn't surprise me to learn that they've kept the true heir tucked away for a rainy day. Hope that's not the case, but I don't know. Some of that lot feel as two-faced as the traders, no offense.
When you get done in Tever, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your time training there.
Huh? The largest city of Phalius, capital of the Sealy Court. Prior to the War of the Courts, it was the capital of all Eternanog. I glanced back at the map. There's a Tamar in Phalius, province of Spring. I was right. I really am in Eternanog, a freshly war-torn Eternanog, if I'm keeping up with everything Shay's just said. I waver on unsteady legs for a moment. Shay stares at me suspiciously and clears their throat before continuing.
Of course, I wouldn't ask you to tell me any secrets. And I know you have to tend to the townspeople too, so it'd only be during one of your usual visits.
Huh? Assuming the queen lets you after all this, I mean. I know she doesn't like me poking around about it. What are you talking about? Hey, I'm sorry about earlier. I just been worried sick, you know, but I shouldn't have been so rough with you. Thank you. Does this mean you'll untie the rope? Not a chance. Now come on over to the table. Well, at least we seem to be on better terms now. Better terms, but they still haven't agreed to untie me, so maybe I can get them to listen to me? I finally see what they dropped on the table when they came in. They brought me a plate of bread and honey with a glass of milk. Go on, you eat while I interrogate you. I don't quite like the sound of that. What kind of interrogation is this? I stare at the food. My mouth salivates pleadingly. Ugh. My stomach may be all for it, but every part of me is warning me not to. If I ever intend on getting home, that is. I swallow down the hunger. I'm not hungry. Thank you. Oh, rap my act? My gut groans in protest. Traitor. It's getting assigned to. You sure about that? Aye, positive. Shay stares at me, frustration played on their face, but they don't press the issue, instead opposite me. They take out a scroll and begin scrawling quickly, mumbling to themselves. So, how the fuck are we getting out of this? Finally, they look up at me.
So, what were you doing by the loch?
Their quill pauses as they wait for my answer. You know what? I do not know if the quick save works. Not during a choice. There you go, quick save. Yeah, yes, quick save. Yeah, explain. At last I can explain. I take a deep breath before launching into my story. I was on my way to Galway.
Galway? What's a Galway?
Oh, I suppose they don't know where that is. It's a place on the other side of the loch? You went to Innsvale? Ireland. I didn't go there. I'm from there, like I keep trying to tell you. Well, of course you are originally, but you know you're not allowed to open the waypoint without permission.
Deona, that's dangerous stuff to mess with.
There has to be some way I can convince you. I was just minding my business with a thief, stole my horse, and pushed me into the lake. When I stumbled out again, it spat me up here instead of there. But I'm not Deona. I'm just a mistake. Oh, it's just a mistake. The less said about that mess up, the better. I'm just a mistake. No. Shay hesitates as they decide if they believe me. They go and pull a small bronze hand mirror out of their desk before handing it to me. It's just me staring back. I have expected a different face to be looking in the mirror. Still looks like you to me. How's this possible? Who is Deona? Maybe I should be asking who I am at this rate. You look like Deona. I'm sure I didn't see a horse. God bless it. Why am I mucking up the words? I sure don't see a horse thief on my way to the loch. Besides, how's someone like that supposed to open a waypoint? That sort of thing's far beyond the skill of a single person.
You realize how absurd this story sounds, right?
Likely more than you do. Honestly, Deona, I don't know what to make of you now. You disappeared for months without work, working up everyone from me to the court, but where you're toddled off to, you know, some folks thought you were killed, right? Or worse, defected. bet if I hadn't been coming down on my rounds, you wouldn't even thought to come by the outpost and let me know you weren't dead. Now you're spinning all these tall tales. Please, I'm not. Help me find the thief and I'll show you. Shay frowns and instead of answering me, grabs my forearm. This again? You have a bruise from where I grabbed you earlier. I can't see what they're doing, but they begin rubbing the blossoming bruise and humming softly. Can you please give me my arm back? Reddening, they drop my arm and... Huh? Huh? And rush off to their desk. I look down and the bruise is gone. How did they do that? Glancing at Shay, I see they're busying themselves at their desk. I take a longing glance over at the food and I see a piece of bread is missing. Wait a second. Where did it go? Am I finally losing it? While I try to figure that out, I hear Shay nailing one of the notes they just wrote on the exterior door of the outpost. This prompts me to turn back to Shay, who leans out a window to make a strange call. I gasp as a strange being with dragonfly-like wings flutters in and takes the note. Hey, so what the fuck is that? I'll meet you at the palace. They whisper the promise to the creature, give it an affectionate head scratch, but it bounds back out the window. They pause in front of me awkwardly.
You know that if you just tell me what you've been trying to do, I'd help you. You're basically family, Zeona. But if you don't tell me anything, then I can't.
I'm telling you everything! Then help me catch the person who started this mess. We gotta go talk to the queen first. Are you sure you won't eat? Again, I appreciate it, but no. With the final sigh, they gather their things and lead me out the door. I guess it's time to meet the queen of the fairies. Oh, Lord, what have I gotten myself into? Okay, we'll continue the next chapter. The Master of Secrets. Interesting. I mean, it's very gorgeous. This game is gorgeous. It's so pretty, and it's such a unique UI and, like, moving around stuff. Absolutely, like, never seen anything like it. The ride to Tamare, largest capital... Yeah, exactly. Nothing... We're meeting a fairy queen. What could go wrong? The ride to Tamare is quiet. Shay keeps glancing warily at me like they want to ask me more questions, but change their mind every time. I suppose I'm not sure what to say either, since nothing I tell them makes a difference. If only I had anything for my saddlebag. As we approach the city, we ride through the farmlands on the outskirts. The fields are all flourishing and ready to harvest, even though it feels like a beautiful spring day. We finally make it to the city gates, an imposing wall at the base of an enormous hill. Perched on top of the hill is the palace, where I can only assume I'm being taken. Oh god, we're dropping frames. Oh, this is annoying. I hate that this keeps happening. Twitch, what the fuck? And I know this is a Twitch issue because I'm not the only one dealing with this and people are seeing that Twitch has dropped data centers. Twitch, I am going to scream. The YouTube side is just fine. I'm bet you that. I'm a bet you that the YouTube side is just fine. I've lost 10% of my frames. This is annoying as fuck. This is annoying as fuck. Absolutely infuriating. Get your shit together, Twitch. Because I know this is 100% Twitch's fault. Yeah, it keeps fucking dropping. I've now dropped 11% of frames and I've been streaming for less than an hour. I am going to lose my fucking mind. Why is Twitch like this? I didn't even see. It's not mellowing out. It's just... yeah. Yeah, you know what? God fucking damn it, Twitch. What is your problem? This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. I would like things to just settle down. Because if this continues, it's not a good sign for the rest of the week. There we go, finally. It only took us losing 21,000 fucking frames. Get your shit together, Twitch. I am pissed because this is not the first time that this has happened. And it, in fact, I believe has happened multiple times in a row now. Which is bullshit. Because I don't notice. Nothing changes on my side. OBS just lets me know that frames are being dropped at a tiny little bit at the bottom of the screen. Which is part of why that I do my stream the way I do with my single monitor. Don't you fucking drop again. If you drop again, I'm gonna fucking lose it! It's dropping again. There we go. We're back down. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, no, you decided. Okay, yeah, you decided that you were going to chill out. I mean, I literally just saw earlier today on Twitter someone that I do trust for updates on like Twitch progress and stuff, talking about how they're seeing Twitch data centers, they're seeing a lot less of them. And that's that's amazing. All right, let's try to get back into the game. That's unfortunate. My panic begins to rise as we get closer. If I don't find a way out of this, I may never get home. And who knows what else this Daona I'm supposed to be has done. If Shay is this angry, imagine what the queen might think. At least if I run, I might have a better chance of getting home. Shay takes this very moment to pull me closer to them.
Now we are going to head straight to the palace. No stalling. Stay close. A lot of people have missed having you around to tend to them, and I don't want you getting dragged off.
Motherfucker, stop. I'm dropping frames again. I'm dropping frames again. This is insanity. This is insanity. I am so fucking pissed about this. I should not have to keep my eye on my fucking frames to make certain that I'm not dropping 20,000. Not dropping a whole 11% of my stream. If we stop for everyone who needs it, we will never get there. And whatever you do, don't go bring and talk about Innsvale. Expect the queen will take too kindly here in the court druids trying to flee the country. The court what now? That sounds important. Shay does... Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm dropping frames again. I'm dropping 40 frames at a time. 40 frames a second is dropping. I'm at 12% dropped, and I've been streaming for less than an hour. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to the devs, too, because they were kind enough to reach out and give me a key, and Twitch is over here shitting the bucket. And I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. Oh, and now it evens out. That's great. Thanks, Twitch. At least the horse over to the stables before we enter the city. Kara's not a fan of the city, too crowded. I nod sympathetically, not being much of a fan myself. Poor horse. Darby isn't nervous around people. The old girl doesn't seem to even pay attention most of the time. Alright, there's Shay. Been a while since you've been up. I just escort the druid back, then I'm back to the post. It takes all my willpower not to snort at the idea of being escorted like this. Inside the walls, the city is bustling with activity. The people here, like Shay, are all mostly human-looking, save for the pointed ears and a few strange otherworldly hair colors. A giant canal runs through the main thoroughfare, and the stores and homes are all inside gorgeous marble buildings. The blooming flowers that litter every corner and crevice fill the air with their pleasant aromas. Oh, thank you. And, I don't know what I expected, but it was nothing like this. I craned my head as we walked to see as much as possible. Down the alleyways, I get a glimpse of shabby row houses and dimly lit stores. Shay and I walk side by side, and they have a firm grip on my bindings. At first, I'm annoyed by the short leash until an elderly woman suddenly grabs my arm, her bony grip locked around it. Daona, dear, I was so worried when I heard. I thought to myself, now who's gonna make Sharon's medicine? Meaning little dark one. I feel a bit bewildered getting picked out from the crowd. Seems Shay isn't the only one who thinks I'm Dauna. As I prepare to respond, Shay quickly cuts me off. Not just now, Mr. Poor. I promise to get Dauna back to you, but first we gotta see the queen. Of course. You come around too sometime, Shay. She leaves without a fuss, and it isn't until she's out of our sight that we continue on. I feel my stomach churn as we walk. While no one else approaches Shay. Twitch, don't fucking do it again. You're doing it again, aren't you? I feel an abundance of eyes on me. Just how well known is Dauna? Are they some kind of doctor? Oh, Twitch was thinking about it. I don't like this. How am I going to get out of here if the whole damn city knows my face? We come up to a busy crossroads. Nope, doing it fucking again. This is so bad. This sucks. This really freaking sucks. I want to play the game, and I want to... play the game. Entirely possible. The ad is here, and... I'm pissed. Because I have a stream every day for the next 6 days. Because I'm playing people's games, and I want to... Oh, now you decide to act well. Now you decide to act well. Fuck you, Twitch. Seriously, this is bullshit. We come up to a busy crossroads filled with all sorts of food and bauble vendors. Amid the carts passing by, the large crowds, and the many alleyways, this could be the perfect moment for my escape. No more shipping, okay. No, fucking run. Oh, fucking run. I don't know if I'll get a better chance than this. No! Unless I want to try my luck at the palace, I better get out of here now. Shay steps into the road, and I use the moment to snatch my bound wrist away. Well, I try to snatch my wrist away. Shay has a pretty good grip on the rope hanging from my binding, so they're jerked towards me instead. What in Danu's name are you? The mother goddess of the Tuath Dedanan. It was she who created Tir na Nog and elevated the Tuath De to godhood, granting them knowledge of magic. I yank again while they're confused, pulling with all my strength. Oh no! Critical fail! Critical fail! No! Hey! And you gained a stay. You evened out. You evened out. Absolutely not. They grip the rope with both hands and pull back until we're locked in a tug-of-war for my freedom. We began to attract attention, and passerby stopped to watch our struggle. What's all this then? What's going on over here? Why is the druid in bonds? Christ, a crowd's stirring together. What am I gonna do now?
Stop pulling! You're gonna fall!
They pull harder, my feet slide towards them. Damn it, they aren't gonna relent. I hope they can forgive me for this. I swiftly kick! Oh god! I kick them. Should have pulled on my bite. It works. She loses their balance and falls backward into a vegetable stand. My cabbages! I know that reference. The produce flies everywhere. Several cabbages roll into the street where they're immediately crushed by horses trotting through. The crowd quickly disperses to avoid the potatoes tumbling towards them. A honeyed voice cuts through the chaos. Someone steps out of the crowd and approaches us.
Oh, really, Shay? I thought guards were taught to control their center of gravity. Or is this some new technique that only the truly faithful learn?
I like this person. Oh, wow, he is really ready. Yeah, but you know what? Prince to prince communication. I can't think of another word that fits. Oh, what am I doing? I need to get out of here. I head for the nearest alley when I hear that same voice call over to me.
Ah, Druid. I'm glad to see you've decided to rejoin us once again.
No. I pause without turning to look back at him. I should pretend I didn't hear. After all, I'm not the person they're looking for. A gentle hand rests on my shoulder. The man looks at me. He's smiling, but his eyes are sharp and focused. Now don't stray too far. We don't want you getting lost again. Wait, I'm not. Hand still firmly on my shoulder, he leads me back to Shay.
I'm fine. Thank you for asking, Master Keegan. And I was just returning down back to the palace.
Master of Secrets. Oh. And leaving this poor vendor to clean up your mess at the better of you. Oh, sorry. I was trying to click the butter. I got distracted. I was trying to click the butterfly. Keegan affects a disappointed frown. The vendor is too busy salvaging what he can to hear, but she looks like they're fighting some eternal battle. This isn't even my fault. If Daona hadn't passing the blame. Oh.
What would your mother think?
Oh.
Now, how should this poor vendor feed his family with his produce destroyed?
Don't bring her into this.
Oh.
Like you've ever worked a day in your life, you bleeding rich.
Oh. My, such classless language as well. Oh, wow. All the while, this poor man must clean up her mess. The vendor in question shoots us rather nasty looks as Keegan and Shay argue. I guess even fairies have rich and poor folk. Seems there's always someone who has to do the hard work for someone else. Maybe I should just... I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. They start helping the vendor clean while furiously apologizing. The vendor keeps his distance. Suddenly, Keegan begins untying my wrist and whispers to me.
If you're still intent on running from Shay, I suggest you come with me.
Say less. I rub my rope bird wrists and glance at Shay, still cleaning up cabbage bits from the road. Then I nod at Keegan and we hustle off. I keep looking behind us, expecting Shay to pop up at any moment, but Keegan seems unfazed. We exit another large gate, and instead of leaving the city, we head deeper into the market district. I think I misunderstood the assistance Keegan was going to give me. Rather than heading directly for the palace, Keegan instead leads me to a fancy-looking boutique. I've never seen such a shop before, but Keegan glides through it with clear familiarity. The two shopkeepers whisper frantically between themselves when they catch sight of us. As Keegan approaches the counter, their whispers turn into delighted grins and greetings. Oh, Master Keegan, back so soon, or is this a visit a pleasure?
My lady, as much as I value my time here, this visit is not for me.
Whatever mic this man has, it's perfect for his voice. Keegan attentively takes her hand and briefly kisses her knuckles. The young woman flushes pink before shooting me a look of contempt. Huh? Also, I keep wanting to, like, click on the moth butterfly thing, but, doing that previously just, made me accidentally skip a few things. And I didn't mean to do that. Well, I think we're on ads, so I'm gonna pause. We'll probably go for maybe about 30 more minutes or so. I don't think I can do a full 2 hours every single day. But, I was gonna say. I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say. I do not believe that I'm getting Pokemon cards Friday. I don't think I'm getting Pokemon cards Friday. As much as I would love to wish I get Pokemon cards, I don't think I'm getting Pokemon cards. Rip. I'm sleepy. I did so much today. I got home and then I got out my new broom that I bought and I stepped out on my patio and I started sweeping. because my patio needed to be cleaned because recently, earlier this year, some birds built a nest on my patio, and
Hi, Cecilia.
and while it's like, oh, cool, bird nest, do you know what bird nests bring? A lot of bird poop. So I swept my patio to get most of the bird poop and like leaves and dirt and stuff off of it, because it's really cooling down and I want to fucking sit outside of my patio now that I really can. And then I filled up a bucket with some warm soapy water, well, kind of like lukewarm soapy water, and I got down, I squatted down on my balcony, and I took a brush and like I bought a brush for use on my patio, and I scrubbed my patio to get rid of the bird shit that was caked onto it that I couldn't get with just the broom. Yeah, I was sweeping my patio. So I swept my patio, I scrubbed my patio, and then I had to throw the dirty, because the water was so dirty. So I threw the water over the balcony. I'm a first floor apartment. There's not a balcony. I mean, it's like a balcony. It's just a gated patio thing. So I threw the water onto the dirt in front of my patio. And then I came back in, and then I realized that I had to go get Kiki's specialty cat food because a new shipment came in. And so I went and I walked over to the mailbox, got Kiki's specialty food, walked it back to my apartment, and then I was like, I'm gonna eat sashimi because I bought a Costco salmon fillet. I was like, sashimi. And then I realized that it had about 2 days left before it was like out of date, and I was like, And then I ate a little bit of it as sashimi, like a tiny, I had like 2 tiny bites of it, and I went, I should probably cook this instead. So I cooked it, and I cut up the rest of it and put it in the freezer. I was able to make one $20 salmon fillet into like 5 dinners. 5 salmon bits for dinner. So that's nice. And then I had a mango sorbet little cup. And then I cuddled Kiki for 20 minutes, which she did not understand that she had 20 minutes to cuddle. And then I came over here and started prepping for stream, and then we streamed. It's been a bit of a crazy evening. And then we were dealing with a bunch of frame drops. So, hey. Yes, about my guest here. I'm bringing our flighty druid friend back to the palace, but all 3 of them stare at me, and I nervously rub my dirty hands on my clothes. I don't really put much thought into my looks, besides the times I needed to mend a thing or two. Standing in front of their judgmental eyes, my meager clothing seems more shabby than before. No, we are human. They seem to have mistaken us for someone very important, who we look the exact same as. You can see the problem. I simply cannot present the druid in this state. The queen would be devastated. Master Keegan, how considerate. The queen is truly blessed to have such a man in her court.
No.
Good sir, the pleasure's mine. I can't tell if Keegan is being sincere or not, but the couple behind the counter don't seem to care either way. They rush to bring me an assortment of outfits, all while fawning over him. I suppose he's pretty popular. The couple never speak to me directly. Instead, they talk to Keegan about me. I do notice that they seem to be shooting nervous glances at the glowing moth that cautiously bobs near him at all times. Okay, it wasn't just me. I kept trying to click the moth. They don't seem to like your moth very much. I'm not sure what possesses me to speak up. Likely the fact that the shopkeepers keep ignoring me. The lady shopkeeper shoots me an ugly look before returning to her fabrics. If Keegan sees it, he says nothing. The eyes usually aren't allowed inside. People of the mountains. This couple is kind enough to make an exception for my will-o-wisp. Is a will-o-wisp? I stared dumbfounded at the fluttering moth. I grew up hearing stories about the wisps, but to see one this close, it's different than I imagined. Cuter, I suppose? For a moment, I pause. Wait, but aren't you all Sith? What's the difference? As soon as I say that, the couple both stare at me horrified. Keegan actually looked caught off guard.
You've returned much more vulgar than before. Intriguing, but unbecoming. What if I'd asked?
No pronunciation guide. That's the only downside.
It amounts to the same thing. As you well know, They were already here when we, the two a day, were driven to turning
Two a
off.
day. Wow, I was completely
It's a foul human conflation to assume we're the same.
in this. Oh, so they're not fairies then, or at least a different sort, enough so that the conflation will cause offense. My first time at a fancy shop and I insult the owners. I'm not sure if Keegan cares about what I say, but I get the feeling the wisp means more to him than he lets on, else he wouldn't keep us so close. What do you think, Master Keegan? The mauve caftan or the emerald gown? Keegan seriously considers each option before grabbing them both and walking over to me. He holds out the outfits for me to consider. Let's let the wearer choose, shall we? The fabrics are high-quality silks. I'll never earn enough in my lifetime to pay for these. I have to find a way out of this before I end up deeper in trouble. Never fear, Moshara. My friend. Usually a shara is used as a form of address. Hello, my friend. Whereas Moshara is possessive. Will is my friend. Some find Keegan's predilection towards the possessive phrase as an address odd, rude, or unsettling. I think it's cute. Yeah. Look, I am completely aware that I butcher things horribly, reading out loud. That's exactly what I'm worried about. The words come out before I stop myself. You seem to have also gained some sass on your unexpected vacation. You simply must tell me what you got up to, after we meet with the queen, of course. For now, let's make you presentable. I flush at the reminder of my position and grab one of the outfits. Emerald gown? I choose the dress. Sure. Finding myself drawn to the way the fabric seems to glimmer when it catches the light. The silhouette is foreign to me and exposes more of my skin than I'm used to, but it makes sense for the climate. For a moment, I marvel on the detailing. The neck and waistline are embroidered with floral embellishments and feel silken to the touch. I can't imagine how much time was spent on this gown alone. Once I'm finished changing, the shopkeepers gesture me over to a large silver mirror. I can finally see myself in full. How do you feel? They are masters of their craft, no? Yeah, they are. I agree they are. Clothes fit me as though they had been made for me and not hastily grabbed from a pile. I run my fingers along the fine stitching and feel how impossibly light the fabric is. I can see why Keegan frequents the shop so often. As we approach the counter, the tailors are both watching me in triumph. They may be snooty, but they obviously take pride in their work.
I must say, you did not disappoint me. Once again, I'm in your debt.
Huh? I insulted you and then took your money. Huh? Oh, that makes a lot more sense. He's talking to the shopkeepers. Oh, you flatter us, Master Keegan. Your patronage is thanks enough. Of course, we also enjoy your more casual visits. As do I. For now, I fear I must return to the palace. I'll send payment along with what I owe for my personal order. Keegan continues to discuss the details in between their saccharine compliments. By the time we leave, they've invited him for tea no less than 3 times. Yes. I think. I don't know. Meanwhile, I still can't stop thinking about what it means that I accepted these clothes. Keegan says I won't have to pay, but the fairies, whatever kind he fancies himself to be, don't just give things away for free. When we make it to the palace, for a moment I'm struck by its opulence. Intricate canals and waterfalls decorate the grounds, and pink roses cover a significant portion of the land. We're greeted by a grandiose marble staircase and a large pink banner bearing the same swan and roses I saw back at Shay's outpost. I don't know. It looks similar, but... The stone is carved into a mix of antiquity and long, sinuous lines that give the palace a beautifully unique appearance. Moss and roses grow along the ground and walls and cover the elaborate fountains in green and pink, so there's a trace of wildness about the place. The palace feels old, but not in a bad way. More timeless than anything. If I wasn't terrified for my life, I'd love it. It's the most grand building I've ever seen. Yeah. Keegan seems unfazed by the grandeur as he casually greets the guards and guides us through the gates, then over a bridge. Watch your step, Mashada. It's a long way down. I raise my eyebrow and glimpse over the side of the bridge. When I do, I have to force myself not to make any sudden movements. I'd expected to see a lake or something down below us, but all those waterfalls are just flowing into some big, great pit. Some great big pit. Some of the lines aren't voiced. It's only, I mean, this is only a demo. Still only a demo. I can't even see the bottom of it. Instinctively, I walk closer to Keegan until we put some bit of distance between us and the pit. Yeah. As we enter the palace itself, servants and nobles line the halls we pass through, whispering behind their hands and staring at us. At me. The servants are watching with concern, their eyes flicking between me and my escort, Keegan. The nobles, on the other hand. Oh my, I think we're in for a show today. Didn't they run off to join the Unseelie? Vaguely seem like they're anticipating my demise. I squint as I note the word Unseelie. I've heard it before. I think Shay mentioned something about it, didn't they? Despite the column halls being open to the air, it feels claustrophobic as I realize I'm the center of attention. This is like some kind of nightmare. As we make the long journey down the hall, I can't help but think whatever the queen has in store can't be worse than this.
Quite impolite, aren't they? Gawking so openly. You'd think they'd have better things to do.
Well, is he trying to make me feel better? I give him an anxious smile in return. Keegan blocks me from the crowd as he leans over to hold the door to the throne room. His expression never changes, but his voice drops so that only I can hear him. Here I go in. What choice do I have? Hmm? Hold on. Let me review my email. Yeah. I was thinking, look, I have had 13 devs reach out to me individually. I'm getting details mixed up. All right, go in. Oh, frick, that's right. Quick save. Yeah, I guess. No use in putting it off anymore. Keegan nods and we enter the throne room. No, not of this game. 13 different games. Sorry, 12 devs because 2 of the games came from the same dev. But yeah, I've had 12 devs reach out to me about 13 games. And you might be saying, Prince, you're only going to stream for 7 days in a row of the festival. You're correct. You might say, Prince, you don't usually play more than 1 game a stream. And I say, you're correct. I don't play more than 1 game per stream. Some of them do, and they're like 2 to 3 hours. Some of them are like 1. I probably won't be doing full 2-hour streams every single day because I can just tell that will absolutely drain me. To my surprise, the queen is nowhere to be seen. Instead, there are 3 very important looking men talking amongst themselves. Hello? All 3 of them turn to look at us as we walk in. Ah, Sethor. The brothers are named after the last High Kings of Insfale. Sethor, and Tethor. Hold on. Why do you have S and C? Unless this is pronounced Kethor. Yeah. Sethor, Kethor, Tethor, I guess. Well, of course I should have known you would be here awaiting Her Majesty. The men share a cautious look before approaching us. Well, if it isn't Keegan, I wonder where our... Mysterian. Head Solerato, Master of Secrets. The red-headed man chuckles at some joke only he understood. The other 2 men are praising me, both looking at me as though I were something foul. Wonderful. I get all gussied up and fops still turn their nose up at me. Isn't Deota supposed to be one of them, or do all wealthy folks just have a second sense for spotting the poor? Here's hoping they aren't too close to the queen. I see her returning the fledgling druid. Her Majesty will be most grateful, I'm sure. Oh yes, she does love her pets, doesn't she? Kethor's eyes remain on Keegan. I wonder if he was included in that statement.
I only do as she asks of me. I'm sure Her Majesty will feel the same about you.
Yeah. What are you implying by that, Master of Secrets?
Her Majesty must be reliant on us all to watch out for her best interests. After all, rulers these days are dropping like flies. No?
That sounds like a threat. The courtiers share a furtive glance, but Keegan gives no indication if he saw it. Kethor's face rushes through several expressions before settling on indignation. However, we don't get a chance to hear his response. Oh, okay. Yes, let's continue to the next chapter. The Rose Queen. Okay. Trumpets! Thank you. Thank you, trumpets. Before the sneering courtier can fumble in a final retort, a chorus of trumpets erupts through the throne room, ceasing all the chatter around us entirely. I spin around, following the collective gaze of the court until it settles on the back door, where an ostentiously clad footman stands at attention. Presenting her illustrious royal majesty, as regal as a swan, a flower among women. Oh, God. Beautiful, benevolent. Shut up, we get it. A paragon of grace and point. Before the ever dawn dims, if you will. Fuck Jiminy. Yalaban. Zetenica, this is set in a potato famine Ireland. We are not actually the druid. We have been isekai'd, more or less, into here, and everybody thinks we look exactly like a druid that's missing. Queen of the Tuath de Danann and sovereign of the Sealy Court. Yeah. The door practically bursts open from behind the footman, who scurries off to the side before he could be trampled by the historic procession. We don't know. We were pushed into a river that seemed to be boiling. A lake, sorry, that seemed to be boiling, and it was red. And then we woke up. The scene is a spectacle to behold. Hordes of finely dressed folk all flutter around a laced, shrouded litter. What? And everyone else in its immediate path is either forced to dispense or join the revelry. Some of the entourage play music, sing, or toss dried flowers out in front of it like rice at a wedding. Most, though, are crowding in and around the litter itself, all speaking up to the woman inside, their voices converging in an incomprehensible cacophony. I unthinkingly make a step towards the scene, feeling almost compelled to get a better look, but no matter how much I strain my neck, I can barely see past all the people in the litter's wait. Suddenly, I feel a hand on my shoulder.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. The Queen's entrance is stopped for none.
Huh?
She does have a knack for it, though, doesn't she?
Right, yes. Keegan smiles at me and leads me out of the way of the litter, but I keep my eye firmly affixed to it, even as it passes me by. Yes, we did have our horse stolen that had all of our stuff and our food. So we haven't eaten in probably over a day. And we were going to go sell all of our stuff to buy money to pay the landlord because there's the potato famine. We have one small potato. I can't help myself. I've heard stories about the Queen of Fairies ever since I was a wee thing. Even if she isn't quite a fairy in the strictest sense, she must be a marvel to have this kind of escort following her every step. Sadly, all I can make out is her faint silhouette. Yeah, our real-world horse was stolen. Oh, did you see Her Majesty's gown? What a splendid design. I simply must... Oof, what? Watch where you're going, you little oaf. Correct, we do not have a horse. And I turn my head around, following the ruckus that just broke out. Squinting some, I watch as a variety of courtiers are seemingly pushed and shoved aside, all echoing a similar aghast sentiment. I can't see who's doing the pushing, though. They'd have to be awfully short to... Stand aside, I have urgent news for the Queen. Right, that explains it. I see her little friend is back. This should be amusing. I'm not, gonna... I chuckle a bit wryly at that, resigning myself to stand and watch the scene unfold. I feel a tad guilty for the trouble Shay might get into, but I can't afford to stick my neck out a place like this. I'm in enough trouble as it is. I'm not about to throw myself between some stranger and the Queen of the Not-Quite Fairies. Shay marches through the crowd, dead set on carving a direct path through the court to the Queen. The nobles and courtiers look irate. There's noticeable shouting now, though I can't make out any of the specifics.
Oh dear. Not one for decorum, are they?
Yeah. I'd kill to see that deep voice guy Uma Pyoy. That's an interesting statement, Phantom. Yeah. Eventually, Shay manages to strong-arm their way to the litter, but they're stopped from reaching the Queen voted for personal guardsmen. But Shay doesn't seem like they care about that. They get up in his face, yelling and wagging their fingers. I can't help but wince a little. I see they've gotten themselves into a shouting match. Funny. Foolish, but funny. Reckless. It's a bit reckless. Upsetting all these important types and all. I turn and look up at Keegan, a bit worried. Will they get in trouble for all this? It depends. On what? If the Queen is pleased to see you. With that, Keegan takes a sidelong glance back towards the litter. Apprehensively, I follow his lead and see that Shay is glowering right at us. Feeling a slight chill down my spine, I wave. Shay, seemingly confused for a moment, waves back. And we both wave for our own embarrassing reasons. I suddenly feel the eyes of the court shift from Shay onto me. Before I know it, the procession, all of its pageantry, comes to an abrupt halt in the middle of the room. I fold my arms and frantically look between Keegan and Shay, unsure of what to say or do with all this newfound attention on me. Neither one of them seems like they're going to be doing much of anything, given Shay is understandably a bit mad at me, and Keegan. Oh, well, he just seems like he'd rather watch me squirm. Christ, why did my double have to be the most conspicuous bleeding person in the front of in the whole of the other world? Hello there.
Oh my gods.
Huh? I startle as an unseen voice cuts through the whisper of the court, and like clockwork, all the attention is pried off of me and onto...
Dana! There you are, you little rascal. Where in Danu's name have you been, darling?
Oh. You're very pink. And your dress is very revealing. half your tits are out. Do you have any idea how devastated I was? It's true, Her Majesty nearly canceled her plans to visit the Summer Palace. I have no time to react to any of this, at least not appropriately. As she speaks, the queen unceremoniously bursts from the litter of her own procession and proceeds to stride straight towards me. Every member of the court is forced to make way, and unlike Shay, they do so with expedience. No. Likewise, once the queen reaches me, I'm rendered completely helpless as she scoops my face into her hands and squishes my cheeks.
Oh, just look at you. So pale, so thin. Really, darling, what were you eating this whole time? Nuts? Berries off the forest floor? Say no more. The thought of it is simply too much to bear.
The queen suddenly wrenches me free, and I find myself stumbling backwards, in part due to the surprising amount of force behind the act, but also mostly out of flustered embarrassment. I think my whole face must be as rosy as her hair. Hey, Phantom. No. They do, yes. Maybe Keegan wasn't lying before about the queen being distressed. Keegan, I ought to kiss you, or at the very least reward you for what you've done here today. Though I must suppose I should hardly be surprised that our Master of Secrets would be the one to bring our dear, sweet, darling Daona home. Part and parcel to the territory, no. As the queen says this, I notice Shay running up behind her, their mouth agape. Though strangely, despite how urgently they tried to alert the queen of my presence, they do not deject against the queen's assertion. I'm not saying anything, and ultimately, neither do I. It is not my place to say any different, and Keegan seems a dangerous sort to cross. Yeah, the previous person was Shay, who is the, Fae guard that captured us. To through my queen, though there's no need for that. You know me, I live to serve. Your Majesty.
Oh.
You're still here, I see. Oh, was there something you needed, Sweet Pea?
Yes, ma'am. Permission to escort the court druid back to their premises.
If I be so bold. May, that's a first. I think under present circumstances, someone ought to stand guard. I feel a chill run down my spine. Stand guard? How will I hope to get home then? After all, the unseelie... No.
What?
No, that will not be necessary. Return to your post. Shay, for a brief moment, stares at the queen with an irritated bewilderment best reserved for, well, anyone else. But ultimately... Da, 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 da. Oh? Sorry, I just got absolutely jolted back into my body. Is this Gillipede? Gymnopede? Gymnopede? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Wild that I immediately knew. But because I immediately knew, I will say that it did absolutely just wrench me out. So hold on, I gotta get back into the groove. Ultimately, Shay just nods stiffly to us all and walks away. How very exciting.
Your Majesty.
If you wouldn't mind. I have some important matters to bring to your attention. Developments in your absence, shall we say. Yes, of course, but later. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Poor Daona looks exhausted. I simply must see them to their cottage first. Naturally, by all means, then, shall we be off?
We? Oh, really now, Keegan?
It could be Claire de Lune. Yeah, out of cat experience.
I can't say I'm surprised you'd set your sights on this one.
Huh?
But am I not entitled to a little time alone with them too?
Huh? What? Pardon? For a brief moment, Keegan appears visibly surprised, but the expression's gone as quickly as it came.
I can't say I quite catch your meaning.
Oh, she thinks you want to fuck me. Oh. I'm but your humble servant, Aphie? Perhaps I merely wish to bask in your presence, engage in an intelligent conversation. No doubt, but there's no need to flatter me, Keegs. Keegs? It's perfectly natural in my eye for you to be intrigued by our Daona here. I imagine their disappearance was more than a little vexing to the Master of Secrets, if you insist. Keegan's eyes linger on me for a moment before he turns back to the Queen of Smiles.
Ah,
Well then, you know where to find me, so I shall take my leave. Keegan bows politely to us both, but before he goes, he catches my hand and places a kiss on my fingers. Oh.
Slangafall, Daona.
What? Slangafall?
Slangafall, Daona.
Slangafall. Interesting. What do you mean? What do you mean, Zatenica? Who has a cat named Keegan? Because I mean, if someone named Kiki was hitting on me, it definitely would be weird. No, the queen... It was Keegs.
Slangafall.
Okay,
Daona.
I understand how that could be read as Keeks, but it's not. Horrible, that one. With that, the queen spins around and claps her hands together. The court will adjourn for today in light of newfound developments. As you were, gentlemen. There are a few grumblings from within the crowd, but with the queen's dismissal, most begin to filter out the throne room, leaving me alone with her. I swallow. Now, shall we be off? The queen looks at me expectantly. Maintain decorum. I bow my hand in quiet acknowledgement, allowing the queen to take the lead. Though, if I'm frank, it's just about all I can manage, what with all these butterflies worrying about my stomach. That was a fast one. I was fast. I barely had time to figure out what I wanted to choose. Besides, I haven't the faintest idea where she wants to go. Did Daona often take private walks with the queen? No. That can't be right. They weren't that important to the court, were they? Without another word, the queen walks out of the throne room, and so I follow at a respectful distance behind. That's what you do with royal swords, isn't it?
My oh my. It seems our Dana has up and vanished yet again.
Huh? Whatever shall I do? Huh? Your Majesty? Abruptly, the queen stops in the middle of the hallway.
Oh.
Huh? There you... Does she have short-term memory loss? There you are, thank goodness. Do keep up, darling. If I want to talk to the air, I would hardly ask you to pitter along behind me as I do. Oh, of course. Oh, she wants us to stand beside her. Okay, with a slight blush on my cheeks, I sheepishly quicken my pace until I'm staying beside her. Apologies, Your Majesty. The queen clicks her tongue. Gracious, enough of that. We're no longer in the public eye. Between us two, Aphie will do just fine. All right, Aphie. Much better. And with that, Aphie leads me out of the palace. Into the gardens. Manam. I can't help but gasp. I've never seen such immaculate gardens. The flowers, the waterfalls, the pond. It's like something out of a picture book.
They are pretty, no? I can never quite get used to it either.
Really? Didn't you grow up here? I bit my tongue. In hindsight, the question was a bit impertinent. Oh, sometimes I forget how new you are. No, I didn't grow up here. I took my first walk through these gardens on the day of my coronation. I raised an eyebrow at her, a bit perplexed. I won't claim to be privy to the ways of royalty, let alone a fairy royalty, but why wouldn't a princess be raised in the capital? Then... It is lovely out, though. Can you hear the birds chirping? Very well. Say, I understand if you're too tired. Would you care to walk with me a little while longer? There's no need to rush to your abode. I paused for a moment, thinking it over. On one hand, the queen may very well just want to take a stroll with me, but on the other, I can't quite get a proper read on her. She's certainly opulent, a touch melodramatic, but there's something else there behind that aristocratic smile. Something unpredictable. Something I can't quite place. I don't know if I could trust it. And while I'm still play acting as Daona, when did we decide we were doing that? But all right. It may be best to keep a low profile, avoid being alone with these people as much as possible. Then again, who am I to refuse the queen? She's given me a choice, but is there one really? Okay. Quick save. Madam, I want to go home. In more ways than one, but all right. Fine. We'll take a walk. Yeah, now she's like, dude, what the hell? All right, sure, take a walk. I rub my chin for a moment, then sigh. Well, I suppose I wouldn't mind taking the long way around.
Darling.
Oh, maybe I chose wrong. With a smile, Aphie proceeds to pull me down a winding garden path lined with great big bushes of flowers and wispy willow trees. A gentle wind stirs up all the smells into the air. As we pass the pond, I feel a cool mist against my skin. I feel remiss only calling it beautiful, but I'm no poet. Beautiful will have to suffice. Though if I'm honest, I can't help but feel like there's something unnatural about it, too. All the flowers seem so fresh, as though they all just bloomed today and would stay that way forever. It's nothing like the flowers in Ireland, such fragile, imperfect things, and so quickly gone. What are you thinking? I jump a little, jostled out of my thoughts by Aphie's question. As I go to meet her eye, I'm surprised by the way she's looking at me. It's almost sad, pitying, maybe? Thinking? Her expression seems very solemn. Feeling homesick? I swallow, feeling a little color leave my cheeks. Don't. The Druids are not the only ones familiar with Dryoct, you know? I squint, a little confused. I'm not sure I understand. It was not a particularly well-kept secret that you wished to leave us, Downa. And by your appearance, the change in your aura, you succeeded. You returned to Innisfail. I take it was not quite what you were expecting, was it?
Truthfully, I sympathize.
Oh.
You were not Tuatha Danann. This was not supposed to be your home.
Oh.
And sometimes longing for that which never was can be just as painful as longing for something lost.
But I digress.
Darling?
I trust now that you've undergone this pilgrimage, you're here to stay, yes? Stay silent. I know I can't tell her the truth. Not now. Not this deep into my accidental deception. It would be too dangerous. The fair folk are an unpredictable sort, after all. But I can't bring myself to lie, either, and find myself avoiding her eye. Well, even so. I must admit there's something on my mind, something that I wanted to talk to you about specifically.
There is trouble in the air, Dana. More trouble than I'd care to entertain.
I raise an eyebrow. How do you mean? This was before your time, but I imagine the Druids familiarized you with the war of the courts well enough. Sure. It ended only 50 years ago, half a lifetime to a human, I suppose, but not to us. Frankly, by the way some talk of it, the war never really ended, it only paused. In any case, I don't expect you've yet heard the news, have you? I find myself fidgeting anxiously, even though I have no possible idea what she's on about. Guess not. Just as well. Ivy pauses for a long moment. Her gaze drifts over to the pond, pensively watching as a bevy of swans bathe themselves underneath the waterfall.
Lugad, the traitor, is dead.
Oh, the king of the Unseelie. Oh.
Ordinarily, this would be cause for celebration. He was a miserable tyrant well past his due.
Oh.
If the gods had any sense in them, his soul would be left to wither and rot.
Oh. But after the war ended, Lugad was left impotent. Impotent? As in, like, they stopped... What do you mean by impotent? The only thing I know of impotent, and maybe this is just because the only way I've heard that word used, is that his dick doesn't work. And I highly doubt that's what you're talking about, madam. And uninterested in furthering his ambitions, his son, however, is young and full of vigor. I see. So what does that mean? It's too soon to be certain. Okay, so don't worry about it. But it is widely believed that the man is as much of a hot-headed fanatic as his father was. My court already whispers of war. This land has already seen far too much violence. Aphie grows quiet again. That looks at me unexpectedly. My throat dries as I rack my brain for anything useful or even comforting to say to her. Yeah. What do they want? Well, what do the Unseelie want? Okay, understood. Maybe there could be a peaceful solution? Oh, saying that out loud. I'm never getting into politics.
What do the Unseelie want? Darling, they want what everyone else in this wretched world wants. Power.
To do what? Yeah, power, but to do what? And power is not often peacefully begotten. Power is the means to an end. I want to know what their end is. Including yours. I bite my tongue as soon as the retort slips out, but Aphie only stares at me. A shiver rolls down my spine as her eyes seem to watch my face closely. I try not to sweat too hard.
Well,
I suppose it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? But if you're asking, impertinently so, about the relative state of my hands, you'll find them far cleaner than most.
Never forget that the unseelie throne, such as it is, was won at the cost of blood-laden streets in every city, town, and village across Murias and Gorias. Any who dared to defy Lugad's brutish warlord was put to the sword.
Interesting that they didn't cut out that brief moment of pause, as I could tell the voice actor was probably looking at the pronunciation guide that they were given. I would say that line probably needs a tiny bit of editing, but it wasn't bad. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, I didn't mean. Ivy holds up her hand silently. No, you're fine. I'm no lover of psychopathy. Psychophantasy. Psychophancy? Fuck. I do not wish to curtail your tongue. In fact...
In the coming days, I may need your assistance.
Uh-oh.
For the sake of the realm.
Uh-oh. What? You sound so surprised. The druids have always been invaluable consultants to the kings and queens of the Tuath Dedanan, you know, even in matters of war. But I'm just a human? Yes, well, I believe that's a good thing in this case. You have no stake in this fight. I'm here, aren't I? I have a very good stake in this fight in my life. Your eyes are new, your perspective's clear. I need someone around me who isn't impeded by ulterior motives. I feel my heart thudding in my ears. I'm not sure what to say. Well, honesty is a becoming trait, not one often shared among my court. If you can promise me your honest thoughts, I will expect no more of you. A twinge of guilt turns the inside of my stomach as I look over at the queen, who seems a good deal more honest herself than she had been before in the palace. Almost makes me wish I could stay and help, but I'm not Downa. I have no business being here, and my own duties to care for. Still, I can't quite bring myself to disappoint her. Why not? I'll do my best, Miss Afy. Really, you are too cute. Just Afy, darling. All these misses and ma'ams make me feel old. I'm only 299, you know. It takes a considerable amount of effort not to let my mouth fall open. Well, I think I've held you here long enough for now. Though, I dare say this was rather enjoyable. We have to do this again, no? Sure, yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be nice, ma'am.
Oh, is that cheek, I hear?
Huh?
Oh, I'll be sure to remember that. And I'll have you know, I can be quite mean when I want to be.
Oh. Mean? What? I'm not certain what she means by that, but I have a feeling that pressing the point would put me in a precarious spot, so I don't. Well, another time. For now, let's get you home. Proceed to the next. Could you do the next chapter? No. Because this is where we stop. If you're interested in playing more of this game, the link is pinned in the Twitch chat. We have a character creator. We've never been shown on screen, currently at least. Yeah. So, thank you everybody for being here on the first of the 7 days of Prince. First day. Alrighty. First day done. Yeah. This game is awesome. This is really cool. There's so much going on. I do like that at least the main character also does not know what the fuck is going on, because it really makes it helpful when the main character is also like, what the fuck? Yeah. He's the guy to the land of fairies, yeah. Yeah, and thank fuck it stabilized at the end. I mean, we still are at pretty much 27,000 frames dropped, which is not good. But I am 100% certain that it is a Twitch side problem. So that's fun. Hopefully that fixes itself. I don't want to deal with that for the next 7 days. I will cry. But yeah. So, without any further ado, let's pop over here All right, you all know the usual song and dance. If you're not already following me on social media, I appreciate it very much if you would. As well, if you're not already a member of our Discord server, I would love to see you there. We have a lot of fun. And yeah, you will see me tomorrow for another demo. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful meowing, blessings, afternoon or evening. I'm totally, the freaking hiccup threw me off base, but you know what? It's all good. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.